Look at his hand. Do not look away. Look at the way the gold Rolex rattles against the mahogany table. It is a pitiful sound. That man used to sign million-dollar mergers while sipping scotch. He used to decide the fate of companies with a single phone call. He used to be a giant. But right now, he cannot even sign his name without looking at me for permission. My name is Olivia. I'm 25 years old. And the two people sitting across from me, sweating in their designer clothes, are my parents. They are begging me to save their lives. They want money. They want mercy. They want me to be the daughter they remember. But that daughter is dead. I buried her 8 years ago. I am not here to save them. I am here to buy them. Let us rewind. 8 years ago. The night the world broke, it was a Tuesday in November. My mother called it a milestone celebration. My father's company had just hit a revenue target that had too many zeros to count. My younger brother, Ryan, had just been accepted into an elite private school that costs more than most people earn in a decade. And me? I was the ghost at the banquet. I sat at the end of the polished oak table. I tried to make myself as small as the extra fork nobody used. I had news too. I had been accepted into a state college with a partial scholarship. It was the proudest moment of my life. But in a house that worshipped prestige, state college was a dirty word. So, my acceptance letter stayed folded in my pocket like a secret crime. The air smelled of expensive perfume and roasted lamb. My job was simple. Refill the wine, clear the plates, be invisible. My mother moved through the room like a shark in silk. She was performing the role of the perfect hostess, kissing cheeks, laughing too loudly. But I knew the signs. I saw the way her hand gripped a guest's arm a little too hard. I saw the way her smile did not reach her eyes. She was one glass of Chardonnay away from being mean. Halfway through dessert, the glass clinked. It was a sharp sound, like a trigger being pulled. The room hushed. Cameras came out. Everyone adjusted their ties and fixed their smiles. They expected a toast to success, a speech about the American dream. My mother stood behind my chair. Her fingers rested on my shoulders. To the guests, it looked like a hug. To me, they felt like talons. I could feel the heat radiating off her. She smelled of wine and malice. She looked around the room, her eyes glittering. "I just have to show you all our pride and joy," she said. My stomach twisted into a knot. For one second, one foolish second, I thought maybe she was going to acknowledge me. Maybe she was going to say, "Olivia worked hard too." She tightened her grip. It hurt. "This is our daughter," she announced. She paused, letting the anticipation build. She wanted perfect comedic timing, our family mistake. Time stopped. I could hear the hum of the refrigerator in the next room. Then someone snorted. Then the laughter rolled across the table like a tidal wave. It was not nervous laughter. It was genuine amusement. Phones were raised higher. A flash went off in my face, blinding me. My father, the man who taught me how to ride a bike, pointed his fork at me from across the table. Hey, his face was flushed with wine and arrogance. "She is the 1% we wish we could write off on our taxes," he shouted. The room exploded. Someone actually wiped tears from their eyes. It was hilarious, apparently, calling a teenage girl a biological error in her own home. A sunk cost, a glitch in their perfect algorithm. I looked down at the red wine stain on the white tablecloth. I realized this was not a slip of the tongue. This was a rehearsal. They had been waiting to say this. All those years of subtle comments. What would we do without our little accident? "We were not planning on you, Liv." They were not jokes. They were confessions. Hardwood floor. It sounded like a scream. The laughter died down, replaced by awkward murmurs. My mother rolled her eyes. She leaned in, her voice dripping with mock concern. "Oh, come on, Liv. Do not be so sensitive. It is a joke. God, you are such a drama queen." My father smirked over the rim of his glass. "You know we love you," he added, as if love and public execution could exist in the same sentence. I stood up anyway. My legs felt like jelly, but my voice was steel. "I am not laughing. I said. I walked out. I did not run. I walked past the framed photos where I was always out of focus. I went to my room, a room that looked like a guest room because they never let me decorate it. I grabbed my backpack. I packed 3 shirts, jeans, underwear, my sketchbook, and a shoebox. Inside was $42. $42 I had been hiding for someday. Well, someday was tonight. When I came back downstairs, the party was back in full swing. They had already edited the story. I was the ungrateful brat who ruined the vibe. I walked to the table. I placed my house key next to the $300 bottle of wine my mother had been bragging about. I looked straight at them. "You are going to regret saying that out loud," I said. No shouting, no tears. Just a fact. Like stating the weather. My mother looked annoyed, not worried. "Do not be ridiculous," she said. "Where do you think you are going to go? You have no money. You have no skills." My father did not even look up. He reached for the butter. "Let her go," he said. "She will cool off. She will be back by morning when she gets hungry." I turned around. I opened the heavy front door and stepped into the humid night. I had a backpack, $42, and a label, "The Mistake." But as the door clicked shut behind me, locking them inside their perfect bubble, I realized something. If I was a mistake, then I did not have to follow their rules anymore. That was the night their golden life started to crack. They just did not know it yet. The bus station smelled like bleach and despair. But to me, it smelled like freedom. I bought the farthest ticket my $42 could reach. New Orleans. One way. On the ride, my phone lit up. Texts from my mother. "Stop embarrassing us. Come back before the neighbors notice. Dad says he is cutting off your allowance if you are not home by 10. Not one person asked if I was safe. Not one person asked why I left." I turned the phone off. I took out the SIM card and dropped it into a cup of cold coffee. New Orleans hit me like a physical blow. The heat was a wet blanket. The noise was constant. But it was honest chaos. Here, nobody cared about my father's stock portfolio. I had 72 hours before I starved. I walked until my heels blistered. I saw help wanted signs, but I was a minor with no experience. Number? Get a resume. We do not hire runaways. By late afternoon, my pride was dead. My stomach was eating itself. I pushed open the door to a corner diner. Grease, chrome, and the sound of frying bacon. A woman in her 50s was behind the counter. She looked like she had seen everything and was unimpressed by all of it. Her name was Carla. "Are you hiring?" I asked. She looked me over. "You ever wait tables?" "No," I admitted, "but I learn fast. And I do not have a backup plan." A guy carrying plates walked by. "Sam." He smirked. "She has that starving artist desperation, Carla," he said. "That is useful energy." Carla tossed me an apron. It smelled like old coffee, minimum wage plus tips. If you survive the lunch rush, you stay. If you cry, you leave. I did not cry. I spilled a soda, I mixed up 2 orders. But I survived. And at the end of the shift, when Carla handed me a few crumpled dollar bills from the tip jar, I felt something strange. Validation. Nobody gave this to me because of my last name. I earned it. The diner became my anchor. Mornings serving eggs to tourists. Afternoons napping in a hostel bunk. Nights were for the sketchbook. I did not draw flowers or pretty gowns. I drew armor, sharp lines, aggressive stitching, high collars that protected the neck, jackets with structured shoulders that made you look bigger than you were. Fabric was the only language I understood. It was the only place I could rewrite the story of a body. One night, Sam found my sketchbook. "You did these?" he asked. "It is just venting," I said. "Liv, this is not venting," he told me. "This is talent. You need to apply to the design program at the community college." College was for people with safety nets, people with parents who paid tuition. But Sam did not let it go. He helped me find the forms. I wrote an essay about growing up as a glitch in a perfect system. I got in. Full scholarship. Fashion school was a Shark Tank. Rich kids with private sewing lessons. and parents who bought them internships. I was the girl who smelled like diner grease and used fabric scraps from the trash bin. My professor looked at my first collection. It was dark, deconstructed. "It is aggressive, Olivia," she said. "It makes people uncomfortable." "Good," I replied. "Comfort is a lie. I did not just want to make clothes. I wanted to make statements." I entered a citywide design competition. The theme was identity. My classmates made flowery soft things. I made a suit. Black. Sharp. But inside the lining, where only the wearer could feel it, I embroidered 3 words in metallic thread. "Not your mistake." I won second place. It was not gold, but it was enough. Enough press to launch a small brand. Enough money to move out of the hostel. I built my life brick by brick. No handouts, no connections. Just the burning rage of a girl who was told she did not belong. 8 years passed. I had a studio. I had a name. I had a life that was loud and real. I thought I had buried the past. But the past has a way of clawing its way back out of the grave. Then came the call, my brother Ryan. I had not spoken to him in 8 years. When I left, he was a 13-year-old boy who watched me walk out the door without saying a word. Now my phone was lighting up with his name. I almost let it go to voicemail. Curiosity is a dangerous thing. But I picked up. "Hello," I said. "Liv?" "Oh, God," you answered, he said. His voice was cracking, panicked. "You have 30 seconds, Ryan," I said. "Why are you calling?" "It is Dad," he whispered. "It is everything. The house is being seized, Liv. The bank is coming on Monday. Mom is hysterical. They are going to arrest him if he does not come up with bail money for the fraud charges." "No fraud." "Of course." My father, the genius businessman, had not just made bad investments. He had been cooking the books. He had been leveraging assets he did not own to maintain an image he could not afford. The perfect life was not just a lie emotionally. It was a Ponzi scheme. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. "Because we have no one else," Ryan said. "Everyone left, Liv. The friends, the partners. They all vanished when the news broke. You are the only one who made it out. Made it out. Like I escaped a burning building, which, in a way, I did. I drove back to my hometown like I was visiting a crime scene. The neighborhood looked different. The lawns were overgrown. The paint on the McMansions was peeling. The economy had been cruel to people who lived on credit and arrogance. I pulled up to the house where I was born, the house where I was named a mistake. There was a red notice taped to the front door. Foreclosure. I stepped out of the car. I was wearing a suit of my own design, sharp, expensive, invincible. I rang the doorbell. My mother opened it. She looked 20 years older. Her hair was messy. Her designer blouse was wrinkled and stained. When she saw me, she did not hug me. She looked at my car. She looked at my shoes. She calculated my net worth in 3 seconds. "Olivia," she said, "you came." "I had a gap in my schedule," I replied. The living room smelled of stale anxiety. My father stood up. He tried to straighten his tie, a reflex from a life that no longer existed. "We appreciate you coming, Olivia," he said. "It has been a tough quarter, just a temporary liquidity issue." He was still lying. Even at the edge of the cliff, he was still trying to sell me the view. "Ryan said you are facing fraud charges, Dad," I said. "That is not a liquidity issue. That is a prison issue." "It was a misunderstanding," my mother sobbed. "The investors do not understand vision, but we can fix it. We just need a bridge loan, just until the market turns." And there it was. The ask. They did not want a daughter. They wanted a bank. They wanted me to pour my hard-earned money into their bottomless pit of delusions. "You are doing well, Olivia," my father said. "We saw the magazine covers. We are proud of you. We always knew you had that spark." "Spark?" I laughed. "You called me a write-off. You called me a mistake in front of 50 people. That was one night," he yelled. "Look, we clothed you. We fed you. We are family. And right now, family helps family. We need $500,000 to settle the immediate debts and stop the seizure. You have that kind of money. We know you do. The entitlement was breathtaking. It was almost impressive. I looked around the room. I looked at the crystal chandelier that I used to clean. I looked at the table where I was humiliated. I'm not going to give you $500,000, I said. Then why are you here? My father demanded. To gloat? To watch us drown? No, I said. I am here to offer you a deal. But it is not a loan, it is a purchase. I pulled the contract out of my bag. I had my lawyer draft it that morning. It was brutal. It was fair. Here are the terms, I said. 1. I will pay off the immediate legal debts to keep Dad out of jail. 2. I will rent a 2-bedroom apartment for you on the other side of town. I have already paid the lease for 1 year. 3. You will hand over the deed to this house to me. Today, my mother gasped. You want to take our house? The bank is taking it on Monday, Mother, I said. I am just beating them to it. But there is a 4th condition, and this one is non-negotiable. You will go live on social media. Tonight. And you will apologize. Not a vague, sorry for the misunderstanding apology. A specific one. You will admit you were wrong about me. You will admit you were cruel. You will tell the world that the mistake is the only reason you are not sleeping in a cell tonight. I will not do that, my father shouted. I have a reputation. Your reputation is dead, David, I said. The internet already knows about the fraud. The only thing left is your freedom. Sign the paper, or I walk out that door and the police walk in. The silence stretched for a minute. A minute is a long time when you're watching a man's ego die. He looked at my mother. She was weeping silently. She nodded. He picked up the pen. His hand shook. He signed. The live stream had 3,000 viewers. Locals, ex-friends, people who loved drama. My father spoke into the camera. His voice was hollow. We treated our daughter, Olivia, unfairly, he said. We called her a failure. But today, she saved us. We were wrong. We failed her. She did not fail us. I watched it from my car in the driveway. I did not feel happy. I did not feel sad. I felt clean. The ledger was balanced. The next day, the moving trucks came. Not the luxury movers they were used to. Just 2 guys in a van. They took their clothes and a few boxes of photos. They moved into the apartment I rented. It was next to a laundromat. My mother complained about the smell of detergent. I told her it smelled like reality. 6 months later, I stood in front of the house. I did not move in. I would never live in that mausoleum. I gutted it. I tore down the dining room walls. I ripped up the hardwood floor where my chair used to scrape. I turned the house into the headquarters for my nonprofit, the Second Chance Initiative. It is a scholarship and incubator program for young artists who have been kicked out, written off, or told they were mistakes. The room where I was humiliated is now a design studio. The room where I cried is now a library filled with books on art and business. My parents call me sometimes. They ask for extra money for groceries. Sometimes I send it. Sometimes I do not. They are learning how to budget. They are learning that respect is earned, not bought. I kept one thing from the old house. The dining table, I cut it up. I turned the polished oak into a welcome mat for the front door. So every young artist who walks in here steps over the symbol of my pain to get to their future. They called me a mistake. I proved them right. I was the mistake that erased them. So ask yourself this. If the people who broke you showed up years later, crying and begging you to save them, would you open the door? And if you did, whose rules would you finally live by?